She packed her bags and walked out. But the $200,000 debt still sat there. Under my name. 3 a.m. The phone rang. Sharp. Loud. It tore through the silence. I shot up. My hand fumbled for it. Sorry to disturb you. This is an urgent call from the bank. The $200,000 loan under your name is overdue. The cosigner, Emily Hayes. Emily. My wife. My throat locked up. I swallowed hard. My voice cracked. There must be a mistake. I've never taken any loan. The banker's tone didn't change. We have your signature on file. The foreclosure process has started. On the property under both your names. I dropped to the floor. The house. The place I poured in my youth, and every last penny I had. I turned my head. The pillow beside me, empty. The sheets, cold. Emily wasn't there. My hand shook as I opened the phone tracker. The screen lit up. Emily, Seattle International Airport. I froze. Scrolling through her Instagram, a story popped up. Emily's hand, locked tight with another man's. Under the dim airport lights, they were smiling. Laughing. At the corner of the screen, a caption. Yes, Finally free. The phone slipped from my hand. It hit the floor. A hollow thud echoed. My heart pounded. Hard. Each beat, like a hammer. 3 hours ago, I was a husband. A man who thought his family was safe. 3 hours later, I was just a name on a massive debt. Alone. In a cold, empty house. If only I'd slept a little deeper that night. Maybe, just maybe, I'd never have found out. My name is Mark Hayes. I'm 38. A financial manager at an investment firm in Seattle. From the outside, people said I had it all. A steady career. A beautiful wife. A sweet little girl. And a cozy house in the suburbs, with a garden full of lavender Emily adored. On the rare evenings I made it home early, I'd see Emily and Sophie, our daughter, swaying gently on the white wooden swing I built. Their laughter, floating through the air, melting into the golden light of sunset. In those moments I believed I was the happiest man alive. Emily and I met 8 years ago. In a cramped gym one summer. She was the receptionist. I was the young guy, still trying to make a name for myself. The first time I looked into those bright blue eyes, I thought, if there's ever a woman I'd want to marry, it's her. I loved Emily in a way most men would call foolish. When Sophie was born, I made myself a promise. She'll never lack for anything. I worked myself to the bone. Took on side projects. There were nights I came home so late, Emily was already asleep. And Sophie, curled up with her teddy bear, lost in dreams. Emily always said she was proud of me. Every time I brought home a bonus, she'd smile and squeeze my hand. You're the rock for me and Sophie. Thank you, Mark. But in the last few months, there was something in her eyes. Something I couldn't name. One day, I came home earlier than usual. I heard her voice in the bathroom. She was on the phone, whispering, urgent. Don't call me at this hour. Mark could be home any minute. I'll talk to you later. I knocked gently. You okay in there? Who was that? She laughed. Oh, it's just Linda from the gym. Work drama. I was trying to calm her down. I nodded. But when she stepped out, her eyes were red. She's probably just too sensitive. Worries too much about others, I told myself. Sophie, our little girl, was the only one innocent enough to say what I couldn't bring myself to think. One night, as I tucked her in, she whispered, Daddy, why does Uncle Alex come to our house a lot lately? He brings cake and plays with Mommy. But he told me, don't tell Daddy. This is our little secret. I froze. I forced a smile. Didn't want her to worry. Maybe he's just helping Mommy fix things around the house. Did Mommy say anything to Daddy? Sophie shook her head, then buried her face in her pillow and drifted off. I sat there watching her clutch her teddy bear. My chest tightened. There was something in Emily's smile lately, something that sent a chill down my spine. But back then, I kept telling myself, don't doubt the woman you love. I tried to calm myself. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe this Alex guy, he's just a friend. Someone kind enough to help Emily and Sophie while I was buried in work. But I couldn't shake the image of her red, swollen eyes the moment she stepped out of the bathroom that day. The next evening, I left work early. In my head, I pictured the three of us having dinner, like we used to. But the house was silent. Too silent. On the kitchen counter, a hastily scribbled note. Took Sophie to Linda's. I've got a few things to discuss with her, too. Go ahead and eat first, Emily. I stared at the paper. A coldness spread through my chest. I walked upstairs. The drawer by the bed was slightly open. I didn't plan to snoop, but my hand, trembling, pulled it open. Inside was a brown envelope. On the front, in Emily's handwriting, "Confidential, Alex." I froze. Then set it back down. Dashi. Don't break her trust. She'll hate me for this. That night, I lay awake. Tossing. Turning. Sophie's words kept echoing in my head. Uncle Alex said, don't tell Daddy. This is our little secret. I turned. Her side of the bed, still empty. It was past 10. I texted her. Are you and Sophie on your way home? Do you need me to come get you? No reply. An hour later, the lock clicked. Emily slipped in. Barefoot. Still wearing that black dress. The same one she said this morning. I'm just meeting Linda to talk yoga classes. She flinched for a second when she saw me awake. I kept my voice calm. Is Sophie sleeping at Linda's? Emily nodded. Yeah. Linda said she could stay over. I didn't want to wake her. She was tired. She disappeared into the bathroom. The sound of running water filled the room. Her phone buzzed on the table. The screen lit up. Alex, I miss you. Are you sure Mark suspects nothing? My heart pounded. Hard. My throat dry as sandpaper. I reached for her phone, but pulled my hand back. The screen went dark, leaving me alone with 1,000 questions. Emily came out. Her hair damp. She smiled faintly. Why aren't you asleep yet? You look exhausted. Let me make you some tea. I nodded. My lips stiff. As she stepped out, I glanced at her phone. My hand shook. I went to unlock it, but stopped. The photo on her lock screen hit me like a slap. 2 hands intertwined. One wore the wedding ring I bought. The other, bare. It was Emily's hand. I set the phone down. My body felt hollow, weak. I looked around the room. Everything felt foreign. The white swing in the garden. The lavender pots she once planted. The kitchen where we used to cook together. I thought this was our home. But maybe it was just the place she waited for the day she'd leave. Emily returned. Set the cup of tea in front of me. Her voice, soft. So soft it sent a chill down my spine. Mark, if one day I walked away, would you be okay? I don't know when Emily stopped being mine. All I know is, tonight, the woman sitting across from me is no longer my wife. That night, I couldn't sleep. Emily lay beside me. Her hair spilled across the pillow. Her breathing, steady, like nothing in the world had happened. But me? I couldn't. In my mind, that image kept replaying. 2 hands, intertwined. Hers. And another man's. And that message, I miss you. Are you sure Mark suspects nothing? It choked me. The next morning, Emily was sweeter than usual. She woke up early, made me coffee, prepared breakfast, kissed Sophie on the forehead, then turned to me with a smile. Don't work late today, okay? Come home early for dinner with us. I forced a crooked smile. Inside, anger burned. But I swallowed it down. Kept it buried deep. At the office, I got nothing done. The laptop screen glared back at me, but my eyes stared into nothing. If Emily is cheating, then that $200,000 loan. Does it have anything to do with him? I called the bank. My hand gripped the phone tight, knuckles white. I need to confirm a loan under my name and my wife's, Emily Hayes. The employee took a moment to check. Yes, Mr. Hayes. The $200,000 loan was signed 4 months ago. Your house was used as collateral. We have both signatures on file. I frowned. I never signed any documents. The banker paused. According to our records, Mrs. Hayes stated you were too busy and she had your full authorization to sign on your behalf. She said you trust her completely with all financial matters. Trust her completely. Was that Emily's words to the bank? Or the story she told, to take everything for herself? I asked them to send me a copy of the loan documents. When I opened the PDF, my heart pounded in my chest. The signature looked exactly like mine, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. That evening, while Emily was in the shower, I quietly opened the safe. All the documents were still there, but on the photocopy of our property deed, stamped in bold red letters, mortgaged, it felt like a knife twisting in my chest. The water stopped. Emily stepped out, hair damp, wrapped in a thin robe. She froze for a second when she saw me standing by the safe. What are you looking for, Mark? I took a deep breath, forced a weak smile. Just checking on the papers, thinking about updating my will. I've been forgetful lately. She went quiet. For a moment, her eyes flickered, something cold in them. Then soft again. Gentle. You're always so careful. But let me help you keep everything safe. You know I'm here for you. She took my hand, squeezed it. Her eyes locked on mine. Deep. So deep I couldn't tell if it was love or a silent warning. Don't they don't question me. I used to think letting your wife handle everything was a sign of trust. But now I realize blind trust is a knife you stab into your own back. 2 days later, Daniel, an old classmate, now a private investigator, called me. Mark, I just sent you an email. But listen, you'll need to brace yourself before opening it. I powered up my laptop, took a deep breath, and clicked the attachment. The photos appeared, one by one. Each shot felt like a cold blade slicing into my chest. Emily, standing next to Alex in front of the Marriott Hotel. In her hand was the gray suitcase I bought her for our 5th anniversary. Alex's arm wrapped around her waist. They laughed, walked into the hotel lobby like a couple who just hit the jackpot. My fists clenched so tight my knuckles turned white. The woman I thought would stand by me for life, now falling into another man's arms. The last photo. Alex holding a car door open. Emily stepping out, her dress fluttering in the wind. The way she looked at him, that gaze. The same one she used to give me. Before I could gather myself, my phone buzzed. A new email from Daniel. Here's an audio recording I found. Mark, listen, but don't lose control. I slipped on my headphones. Heart pounding. The recording began. Emily's voice. Soft, but clear. I've transferred the money to your account. Tomorrow night, when Mark comes home late, we'll leave this place. Are you sure? Alex. I'm sure. The house is mortgaged. The loan's under Mark's name. Even if he finds out, it'll be too late. Yeah, but do you trust me? We'll be happy in Canada. Just the two of us. Alex. I trust you, as long as you keep your promise. Emily. I ripped the headphones off, my whole body trembling. She's not just cheating, she's plotting to destroy me. But deep down, a darker question crept in. Does Emily truly trust Alex? Or is she using him too? That evening, I came home. Emily was in the kitchen, hair tied up, her perfume faint in the air. You're back. How was work today? Her voice, as gentle as ever. I nodded, fighting to keep the rage down. She stepped closer. wrapped her arms around me. I love you. Thank you for always trusting me. That line, it cut deeper than any blade. That night, I lay next to Emily. Unable to close my eyes, she slept peacefully, hair spilling across the pillow, hands resting lightly on her chest, like the sweet, tender wife I once loved. If I woke her now, if I screamed in her face, would it even change anything? I slipped out of bed, made my way downstairs. The house was cloaked in darkness. Only the ticking of the wall clock broke the silence. I opened my laptop, logged into our bank account. The savings, over $150,000 withdrawn in the past 3 months. Emily once said she was investing in a spa with Linda, but now I know that money went straight into Alex's account. I exhaled sharply. In that moment, everything shattered. The marriage I protected with every ounce of trust I had. The woman I shielded from the world was the very one plotting to ruin me. I stared out the window. The white swing in the garden swayed gently in the breeze. Tomorrow, Emily thinks she'll run away with Alex. But they don't know. I'm awake now. Tomorrow she believes she'll escape. But no. Tomorrow will be the day I make her pay. The next morning, I woke up before Emily. She lay on her side. Her brown hair spilled across the pillow. Her hands rested lightly on her stomach. On the surface, she looked like the gentle wife I once loved. But now, I knew better. Behind that peaceful facade was a mind calculating enough to dismantle a man's entire life. I walked quietly to the kitchen. Coffee in hand, I opened Daniel's email again. My eyes locked onto her words. Tomorrow night, when Mark comes home late, we'll leave this place. That line felt like a dull blade dragging across my skin. She thinks I'm blind. But this game, I'll be the one writing the rules. At breakfast, Emily played her part to perfection. Don't forget to pick up chocolate milk for Sophie this afternoon. She loves it. She smiled sweetly. But I caught the flicker in her eyes when they met mine. After she took Sophie to school, I called Greg, my trusted attorney. Greg, I need you to freeze our joint accounts immediately and prepare a unilateral order to protect the house from foreclosure. Mark, what's going on? Are you all right? Greg's voice was cautious. Just do it. I'll explain later. On the way to the bank, my mind buzzed. I have to move faster than them. One wrong step, and it's all gone. Hi, I need to update the password and security protocols on my account. I told the bank clerk. Yes, Mr. Hayes, but according to our records, Mrs. Emily Hayes is also a joint account holder. She's already placed a request to withdraw the entire savings tomorrow. My chest tightened. Heart pounding. Cancel that request. Now. But Mrs. Hayes already signed off. She no longer has authority. From this moment, every transaction requires my approval. Understand? The clerk nodded nervously and began processing it. My phone buzzed. Emily. I swallowed hard, forced my voice to sound calm. Hey, where are you? I called the office, and they said you weren't there. Are you okay? I just stepped out for coffee. Why? Is something wrong? No, I was just asking. I worry you're overworking yourself. I ended the call. My pulse raced. That was close. If she suspects anything now, everything falls apart. That afternoon, I picked Sophie up from school. She threw her arms around my neck and chirped, Daddy, Mommy said she has an important yoga class tonight, so she might come home late. My grip on the steering wheel tightened. A lump formed in my throat. Yoga, or her final meeting before they run. That night, Emily came home late. She stepped in, her breathing slightly uneven, but her smile unwavering. Class was more packed than I expected. Sorry I'm late, I nodded, hiding everything behind calm, steady eyes. But inside, the fire raged. They think I still trust them, but right now, every move they make is falling straight into the trap I've set. The next morning, Emily slipped her arm through mine, her eyes sparkling like always. Can you come home early tonight? I'll make you your favorite, beefsteak. I nodded, kept my voice steady. A last supper, before she runs, I drove away from the house. But I didn't go to the office. Instead, I parked at a small cafe near the airport, the spot Daniel, my private investigator friend, picked to track Alex. A message came in from Daniel. Alex just emptied his bank account. But he also booked a flight. Alone. No, Emily. My brow furrowed. Another message followed. I hacked into their chat. Looks like Alex is threatening her. Here's a snippet. Don't forget our deal. No one betrays anyone, or it all goes down. Their deal? Is Emily under his control, or is she the one pulling the strings? That afternoon, I decided to head home early. Emily flinched slightly when I opened the door. You're not working late today? I missed you. Wanted to have dinner with my wife. I stared deep into her eyes, searching for a crack, but her face stayed calm. That gentle smile never faltered. At dinner, Emily poured me a glass of wine. She leaned in and whispered, "You're the most amazing man I've ever known." I gripped the glass tight. It felt like swallowing broken glass. Amazing enough to be used for a $200,000 loan, and left behind to pick up the pieces. Another message buzzed in from Daniel. Emily just texted Alex. Are you sure the plan hasn't changed? As Emily got up to clear the table, I quickly grabbed her phone. The screen lit up. Alex, I'll pick you up at midnight. But remember, don't let Mark suspect a thing. Suddenly, Emily turned, her eyes half open. I jerked my hand back, heart pounding like a drum. That was close. Emily's eyes closed again. I exhaled, cold sweat soaking my back. When she returned to the table, her gaze darkened slightly. My love, why do you look so tense? Rough day at work? I forced a smile. Nothing, just a bit of a headache. That night, I lay still in bed, listening to Emily's steady breathing beside me. But my mind raced. What if Alex plans to betray Emily? What if she already knows, and she's playing him instead? At 11:45 p.m., a new message came from Daniel. Alex is heading to the airport. Alone. No sign of Emily. I glanced at her. Her face, peaceful. Too peaceful. Does she know I've been watching her? They think I'm the prey. But tonight, the prey becomes the predator. I jolted awake at 3 a.m. The room was pitch black, only the sound of wind whistling through the cracks in the door. Emily wasn't beside me. The sheets were still warm. I crept down the stairs, the wooden floor creaking softly under my feet. A faint light spilled out from the living room. Then I heard her voice. Soft. Whispering. I'm heading out now. Pick me up at the back gate. Mark's a heavy sleeper. Don't worry. I froze. My blood turned to ice. It started. I pulled out my phone. Opened the tracker app Daniel installed for me. Emily's dot moved slowly toward the outskirts, the road leading to the airport. I texted Daniel. Where's he picking her up? The reply came instantly. Alex is waiting at a parking lot near the airport. But Mark, you need to hear this. What is it? I typed back. Daniel's message appeared. Alex booked the flight alone. And he texted his crew. Once this is done, clean it up. Don't leave anything behind. I gripped the wheel tight. My heart slammed against my ribs. Is he planning to kill Emily? Or is this just another game didn't he aim to trap me? I floored the accelerator. The car tore through the night. Streetlights streaked past like the pounding of my heart. A message popped up from Emily. I'm sorry. Don't look for me. I can't explain. Please live your life. I read it again. And again. Her voice echoed in my head. Soft. But distant. Emily, why? I neared the airport. Alex's car was already parked. I killed the headlights, pulled over a few dozen meters away, and watched. Emily appeared, dragging her suitcase. Alex stepped forward, wrapped an arm around her. But his face, cold as stone. I leaned in, trying to catch their words. Emily's voice, trembling. "You're planning to betray me, aren't you? All that money. I signed everything for you." I went numb. So, Emily was being used too? A new message flashed from Daniel. "Careful, Mark. He might be armed." My grip tightened on the steering wheel. My throat burned. Do I save the woman who betrayed me? Or let her pay the price? Tonight, I have to choose. Stand by and watch it all burn, or step into this deadly game to save the one who stabbed me in the back. I held my breath, watching from inside the car. Emily and Alex stood not far from me, under the sickly yellow glow of the airport parking lot lights. Emily gripped her suitcase tight, her eyes sharp with tension. "What are you doing?" "You promised we'd leave together. You said we'd start over." Alex smirked, his voice low, gravelly, cold as steel. "You really think a guy like me needs you? You're just a tool, Emily. You played your part well. But the game ends here." Emily stepped back, her lips trembling. You're going to kill me?" "Smart girl. But a little too late." Alex flicked open a gleaming folding knife. I gripped the steering wheel, my heart pounding like a war drum. If I step out, I might save Emily, or I might get myself killed. And what if this is all an act between them? A message buzzed from Daniel. "Mark, my team's on the way. 5 minutes out. Buy some time." I drew in a deep breath. Save the woman who stabbed me in the back, or let her pay the price. I pushed open the car door. My voice rang out, sharp and steady. "Alex, drop the knife." Both of them spun around. Emily's eyes widened, a mix of shock and fear. "Mark? What? What are you doing here?" "That's my question for you," I growled. Alex let out a dark laugh, taking a step toward me. Well, the loving husband shows up? Saves me the trouble of hunting you down." He raised the knife, its steel catching the light. "You really think Emily's innocent?" "She planned the mortgage. She funneled the money to me." "You've been her puppet all along," Emily screamed, tears streaming down her face. "No, Mark, don't believe him. He threatened to kill Sophie if I didn't sign the papers." I froze. Who's lying? Was Emily forced? Or was she the mastermind all along? The phone in my pocket buzzed. Daniel's message. "Mark, get down." I dove sideways. A gunshot cracked the night. A bullet ripped into Alex's shoulder. He screamed, the knife clattering to the ground. Daniel's team stormed in, pinning Alex to the asphalt. Emily collapsed to her knees, her hands shaking, her eyes red and raw. "Mark, I'm sorry. I had no choice." I stared at her, 1,000 emotions surging inside me. Anger, love, and doubt. I picked up Emily's phone from the ground. The screen lit up with an unsent message. "When it's all over, don't forget your promise to little Sophie." My chest tightened. Was Emily protecting Sophie? Or was this just another layer of her act? She used to be my whole world. But right now, I don't even know who she is anymore. The sound of police sirens echoed through the airport parking lot. Red and blue lights flashed, illuminating Emily's pale face. Alex was handcuffed, shoved into the back of a patrol car. As he was dragged away, he turned his head and smirked. "Mark, remember this. Don't trust anyone. Especially that woman." I stood still. My fists clenched so tight, my nails dug deep into my palms. Emily dropped to her knees on the cold concrete. Her hair fell forward, hiding half her face. "Mark, I'm sorry. I didn't have a choice." Her voice cracked like shattered glass. I stared at her. Alex's words echoed in my head, and the unsent message about Sophie. "Emily, is she protecting our daughter? Or is this just another carefully staged act? Why?" My voice came out low, raspy. "Why didn't you tell me from the start? We could have found a way together. I trusted you completely." Emily looked up. Tears streaked down her cheeks. I wanted to tell you, but Alex threatened to kill Sophie if I said a word. He watched every step I took. Every call I made, I took a few steps forward. Our shadows stretched long under the harsh lights. Anger and love collided in my chest, leaving behind a hollow, frozen void. I thought I knew this woman better than anyone. But standing here now, all I see is a stranger wearing the mask of the wife I once loved. Emily clasped her hands, her shoulders trembling. Mark, I know I was wrong. I don't expect you to forgive me. But please, if you can't trust me, at least protect Sophie. She's innocent. She deserves love, even if a mother like me doesn't. A message came in from Daniel. Mark, we checked the accounts. The $150,000 Emily transferred is untouched. She hid it in another account. I gripped my phone tight, my eyes locked on hers. You hid the money. To save yourself. Or to run from me? Emily shook her head violently, her voice breaking. No. I saved it. To get Sophie out if Alex hurt you. Mark, I swear. I closed my eyes, my breath heavy. Sophie's innocent smile flashed through my mind, her tiny hands waving. Daddy! The woman before me is no longer Emily, the wife I once loved. All that remains is Sophie's mother. And maybe, just maybe, that's reason enough to hear her out one last time. I turned away. I couldn't bear to look into Emily's tear-filled eyes. The anger still burned inside me. But beneath it, an icy emptiness was slowly consuming me. Mark, her voice cracked, trembling. You can hate me for the rest of your life, but please, don't let Sophie grow up hating both of us. I spun back around. My eyes burned, and the words shot out like nails driven into wood. Did you think about Sophie when you held another man? When you signed away the house we spent our whole lives saving for? Did you ever think about her? Emily broke down, her shoulders shaking violently. I did. Every single moment I thought about her. That's why I did all those terrible things. I thought I could bear it all, so you and Sophie wouldn't have to. But I was wrong. I stood in silence. Memories flooded my mind. Her gentle smile, her hands once gripping mine, and the nights she secretly texted Alex. I thought I knew this woman better than anyone, but now all I see is a stranger wearing the face of the wife I once loved. My phone buzzed. A message from our housekeeper. Mark. Sophie woke up crying in the middle of the night, asking where her mom is. She said, I know everything. I'm not mad at Mommy. I just want her to come back. I froze. My throat tightened. My knuckles turned white as I clenched my fists. Emily looked up at me. Her red, swollen eyes carried the faintest flicker of hope. Mark, I'm not asking you to take me back, but let Sophie have her mother. Please, if you can't trust me, let me prove myself. Not for me, but for Sophie. Dichier. I drew in a deep breath. Part of me wanted to walk away, to let go of everything and leave it all behind. But Sophie's tiny hands, her innocent voice calling Daddy, flashed in my mind. If I let go, she loses her mother. If I hold on, I might lose myself. I stepped closer to Emily, picked up the suitcase lying at her feet. My voice came out low, steady, like a heart breaking in slow motion. Go home. Emily froze. Tears streamed down her face. You still trust me? I shook my head. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. But Sophie needs her mother. And I need time. Emily collapsed, her hands covering her mouth to stifle her sobs. I watched her. My chest tightened. But deep down, a part of me had already gone cold. As Emily stood, walking beside me, I spoke again, my voice cold as ice. This is your last chance. Don't make me regret it. I don't know if my heart will ever heal. But I do know one thing. Sophie deserves a family better than the ruins we've left her with. That night, the house was silent. Too silent. I sat in my old wooden chair, a glass of whiskey in hand, untouched. The warm yellow light spilled through the window, casting my shadow long across the floorboards. Emily was asleep in Sophie's room. Maybe she was trying to find some peace, clinging to our daughter. And me? I'd never felt so estranged. From my own heart. I once believed marriage was the safest place in the world, a harbor where we leave all the storms outside. But now, looking at this house, all I saw were broken shards of trust, lurking in the darkness. I didn't know if I could ever love her again. Maybe love, once cracked, never truly heals. Even if you mend it, the fractures run so deep, you're too scared to touch them. I heard Sophie's soft giggle from the next room. Her tiny voice whispered, "I love you, Mommy. I know everything. But I just want you here with me." That sound. It cut through me like a blade, leaving behind a dull, throbbing ache. Maybe only children love like that, pure. Without judgment. Without hesitation. Just wanting to be together. I envied her. Once I loved Emily like that. No doubts. No conditions. But I'm not that man anymore. Alex's words came back to me, echoing like a curse. "Mark, don't trust anyone. Especially that woman." Then I remembered Emily's terrified eyes last night, her trembling hands holding Sophie so tight. Yes, Emily betrayed me. She crushed the vows we swore to protect. But was she ever a bad mother? The next morning, I watched her in the kitchen. Her eyes avoided mine. Her hands fumbled clumsily as she set the table. She wasn't the confident woman I once knew. She looked like a child who'd broken the most precious thing she'd ever owned. When she handed Sophie her cup of milk, my mind wandered back to the first day we met. She was the light in the darkest room of my life. Maybe there's still a little light left in her, but I don't know if I have the courage to step into it again. That night, just before bed, Emily stood at the doorway. Her voice barely more than a whisper. "Thank you for giving me this chance, even though I don't deserve it." I didn't respond, just nodded. But in my head, the same question kept circling back. If she betrays me again, will this heart ever recover? I don't know how far we can go from here. But tonight, Sophie has her mom and dad under the same roof. And maybe, for her, that's enough. But for me, I'm not so sure.